CEO, IU Technology Solutions, for his topic presentation. Let me request Engineer Jairam, Joint Secretary of CMA, to escort the speaker and to moderate this session. Now, Mr. Engineer Jairam will introduce the speaker to the audience.
Good evening, all of you. First of all, I thank my President Engineer Anandamani and Chairman Organizing Committee for giving me an opportunity to introduce Captain O.P. Dua to this August gathering. After getting this responsibility, I just scrolled through the website and I got pages and pages about him. And in fact, the responsibility given by my president was to introduce him within 2 minutes. And now, since the program is already delayed, they have asked me to introduce as short as possible. So, in fact, today afternoon, when I was having lunch in the restaurant, a person sitting opposite to me smiled at me, and it was a familiar face. And I was just thinking how to introduce this person within these 2 minutes. But when I asked him who you are, from where you are, he said, I am Captain O.P. Dua. I was in fact shocked. The person whom I am going to introduce is just sitting in front of me during lunch. And I am having 4 or 5 pages in front with me. So, in fact, I'll just tell few words which I got from him during the lunch. He's a wonderful, nice person. He's having a good family with 1 wife and 1 son who has come back from UK, and he's working in Bangalore. But in fact, since responsibility is given to me, I'll read few words. Captain Dua comes with more than 3 decades of experience, including senior management position as Managing Director and Executive Director. As an expert in production planning and manufacturing and logistics, he has successfully turned around organizations and established new businesses including Keltron, HBL, Power Systems, Goa, Investcast, and Envirex India. He holds BE in Electrical Engineering, MSc in International Relations, MBA in Finance and Management Services. He was active in the Indian Navy for more than 27 years in various capabilities and technologically challenging assignments. He is specialized in hand-holding crisis-ridden businesses that may be due to financial distress, serious illness, death of the entrepreneur, or other contingencies. He leads from the front in turnaround assignments and crisis management. He anchors the discussions among the partners and stakeholders to facilitate smooth conflict resolutions. With these few words, I proudly present before you Captain O.P. Dua. Thank you.
Thank you, Jairam, for your nice introduction. Now, over to Captain Dua for his presentation.
Before I step to the rostrum, I am privileged to be a good man as per him, with 1 wife and 1 son. Many years back, I'm going to come here. I'll not break the rules. This is the last session, and you have a soldier in front of you. Am I audible? Yes. Sir will not call me next time if I don't follow the protocol. 12 years back, I shared a platform with Mr. Shibulal when I was Chairman and Managing Director of Keltron. Very nicely, I had prepared 18 slides preparation. Good ex-naval officer. And my term was the last. After first speaker, I went out with some excuse and deleted 3 slides. 3 into 6, 18. By the time my turn came, my slide was 0. So I was wondering, what should I speak? I am in the same fate today also. Anand sir, next time when you call me, please give me the first chance. So that I do not have speak here. Because there is nothing in this which has not been already spoken. I am entitled to my quota of time. And being a hard soldier, I shall not give up. Sir, are you sure one wife? I mean, I do not know, but really what is information. Good man was good. Good man will remain good. And good man should remain good. But there are few additions. I'm going in flight. I'll have to scratch my head. That doesn't mean that I don't have one. Good. Let me speak from my heart because the third stage is off. I served in the Indian Navy for 27 years and I was involved in the design of nuclear submarines. I spent 10 years in Russia and I had gone to Riga, capital of Latvia, the then Soviet Union, for my MTech, which I had to do in Russian language. So I still speak Russian language reasonably well. Having served, and I was actually involved in building INS Arihan, India's first individual. Now with this background, I quit Navy and they said, do not leave. You have been in Russia for 10 years, you are a designer, you will become admiral, this, that. I do not know what happened to me one day. And I said, I must do something. Formal question. But was I audible to the last row? Yes. At home, so whenever I step out of the home, lots of accumulated energy. But it should happen when I go back in the evening. I am questioned at home, or is you are having sore throat? So that will be a difficult question. I dedicate and devote this session to the students. You remind me a phase of 35 to 40 years ago. It makes me feel young. As I said, when I quit Indian Navy, I didn't know what I'm going to do. Very strange, you know. You are a captain, comfortable, not very rich, but comfortable life. And I stepped out. I didn't know my first assignment will be in God's own country. I was given the assignment of Chairman and Managing Director of Keltron. Senior lot would know, since my session is dedicated to the students, they may or may not know, I presume they know it, this is or was, you need to choose the word, was not only nation's pride, state's pride, but a Navratna. Way back, I should say early 80s. Mr. K.P.P. Nambiar was the founder of Pride of the State. Post 91, scenario changed and the organization started slipping. and I came in 2007. The only input I had in my interview was, this organization is, with due regards to all of you, I don't like this word sick, but when they say, some PSUs become sick. That's all I knew. Say, are you comfortable? When we grow in any organization, from the grassroots level, be it Navy, like sub-lieutenant, lieutenant, lieutenant commander, commander, captain, or in any other organization, we have the pulse of the organization because you are served in each rank. You know at grassroots level the businesses. Mind you, a person in uniform, never worked in civil side, be it public sector or be it private, lands up as CMD of the organization with no knowledge. People claim they know this, they know that. I share with the dear students, I knew nothing. Zero always does not reflect negativity. You've got to be honest to yourself. So I came to this state, and my wife, one only, I'll keep repeating. Am I reassuring myself? I don't know. And my son said, we'll accompany you for a week. And I was given an accommodation in government guest house in Thiruvananthapuram, then called Trivandrum. This company has 3 units in Thiruvananthapuram. I'm still used to calling Trivandrum, pardon me. One in Arur near Cochin, Ernakulam. One in Kuttipuram, one in Koilandi, one in Kozhikode, that time it was called Calicut, and 4 in Kannur, Nagar. As chairman and managing director, I was responsible for all these 10 companies, which were in extreme loss. On my second day, this is a true incident, and I should have said it while I came closer to your hearts. That's why I took a couple of steps. That doesn't mean I'm not. Even over here also I'm closer to your hearts. I decided to visit unit by unit, and I said, I will go to Arur next day. First 5 days, it's a very important thing for young MBA students, not for very senior people. They know much more than this. So I went to Arur from Trivandrum in the car. My family was in the guest house, and they got bored during the daytime because I left in the morning at 7. Somewhere around 11 or so, this I can never forget. And this is the first message with the MBA students. They decided, let's go out and see a movie. So wife and son came out, reasonably well dressed, and they stopped an auto rickshaw. Because I do not believe in giving government assets or company assets or MD's car to family. I had never done it, and I didn't feel like doing it. So they stopped auto rickshaw. This, if you remember, in any government guest house, people usually come in cars with red board, so-and-so state, so-and-so department. Here was a lady and a 13-year-old son at that time who stopped auto, and this gentleman was very surprised. He says, ma'am, where do you want to go? Anywhere, maybe a movie. Generic answer. Which movie, which theater? So my wife said, you decide. I mean, it's a very natural answer. You decide. So he said, okay, Trivandrum is not a very big city, and Velayambalam, where the guest house is small central part. So after a minute, he asked, what brings you to this place? Reluctantly, my wife said, job. He was more inquisitive. Said, what job? Job in Keltron. He's trying to connect the dots. Have you got the job? No, my husband. No, where is he? He's on duty. I presume in 5 minutes or so, some police came and they got down. You know what he said? This is for the students. I shall not take any money from you. It was not a question of 20 rupees or 30 rupees or 40 rupees in the auto. I don't know. He says, I will not take any money, madam, from you. And he was speaking English. Most of the people manage. Can you pass one message to your husband? Can you ask him to take this organization to the same prestigious position and place where this was almost 2 decades ago? I came back in the evening like a typical soldier, tired, relaxed, and good food. So my wife said, wait, I have a message to convey. And she narrated this entire incident to me. I became silent. And she said, you have a task to perform. I became silent. This silence gave me a passion. First time in my life, I understood the importance of power of silence. Usually I'm very jovial. You would have seen it in the first 2-3 minutes. But I really became very silent and learned, see, you have a task to perform. Family came back to Bangalore, where I'm stationed after Navy. My first assignment for a couple of months was as a vice president in SAP, trying to build up their defense vertical. They came back. We don't belong to Bangalore also, Delhi. But because first job was there, son got a job. Then started a journey of 20 hours a day for next 3 years. It was a very nice experience for me. When you wear 4 stripes, build a submarine, and I faced next day or so a very unique situation. Now this is again lesson number 2 for young MBA students. I hold a couple of MBA degrees, read a lot of books, but there is one word which I learned this morning. I do not know, sir, whether you said or you said. We all heard of, top-down approach, leadership, quantum, this, collaborative. Compassionate style word compassionate style was used. So all the workforce landed up and they says, do you know what is the problem of this organization? I said, no. How will I know? I smiled. We are a demotivated lot. Again I smiled. Kept a. So I say, why so? They say, you won't know. We have lots of gray areas and these have never been addressed. And here is a big register. You know what is the beauty of soldiers? They don't have brain. But they have a good heart. Because with your Jawan, you eat the same food. We call it Bada Khana. When you fight, you do not know which bullet is going to hit whom. You lead him from the front. So they are expected to have a good heart. So I said, very good. You have lots of demand. Nobody has addressed. Trust me, dear students. You need to look into my eyes and believe me. I said, give me your demand book. Without looking at it, I just signed, approved, Captian Dua, chairman and managing director. This caught them with a surprise. Because they had never experienced such a thing, that the workforce goes to the management. This I learned later. And management, they will argue 10 rupees, no, 9 rupees, no, 8 rupees. Here is a man, maybe I don't know which zoo he has come from, doesn't look and signs approved. I don't know why I did it. Many years have passed. I subsequently headed many companies as CEO. I was global head in US also of a multi-billion-dollar company in US. But this question kept haunting me again and again and again as to why I signed that demand book without looking what is inside it. Till today, I do not have the answer. They says you need to see. Sir, you are not knowing what you are signing. I said, never mind, I don't want to see. I need not. These are your genuine demands. I trust you. But you must see. I said, are you sure? It's already approved. Then I opened. I will give 2 examples. On the first page was written, the shoe allowance is to be made from 200 rupees to 400 rupees. They thought this is 100% hike. Knowing not where to look at, I asked them, what shoe do you get for 400 rupees? I have come from Bangalore with 1 pair of shoes. I want to buy 1 more. So can you tell me in 400 rupees where you'll get? The least I know is 1,000 rupees. The least. They looked at me with blank looks. So I said, make it 1,000. They were fighting for years together to make it from 2 to 4. And I said, no, make it 1,000. I said, I'm going to see 1 more page and I will close this. To my utmost surprise, Delhi winter uniform sweater to made between 400 rupees to 800 rupees. I'm from Delhi. The Tibetan people sell these winter sweaters and all on the road. They'll make a heap. And that is available for 700 to 800 rupees. A good Oswald sweater costs you 2,000. I says, please make it 2,000. I stopped. By this time, the message was very clear. The organization needs to think differently. See, these are very simple things. The mind is sleeping. You need to think differently. Why does such a beautiful public sector undertaking, largest, as I initially said, the so-called Navratna, which could have been today another Bharat Electronics Limited or another HCL, which I'll be mentioning a little later, is still not reached its true potential, and they are struggling hard. For 18 years, there was no hike in salary. I reiterate, 18 years, no hike. So you need to think differently. They were not able to think. So young students, when you start heading larger organizations in the years to come, first and the foremost thing is, you must remember that the people's mind must never be allowed to sleep. They must think big, then only they can move forward. I learned it not with any notes I had prepared. I learned it because I could touch their heart, I could feel the pain in their eyes, I could see the pending demands, not in terms of money or sweater cost or a shoe cost, in terms of organization not having addressed these issues and taken it. Very, very important point. Never mind. Life has to move on. Let's come to business. So I said, approved everything. I'm not going to see 3rd, 4th, 5th. But you will have to earn yourself. Naturally. From where the extra money will come. One side, when you give something to your organization, I'm especially talking the public sector undertaking, it's very important. The left hand must spend, the right hand must earn. So they understood and accepted. So I prepared them mentally for a change. Since time is a premium and I need to touch some very critical aspects, I will touch salient points. Anything specific to be deliberated, we'll have a question and answer sessions, for which I'll come forward. I said, let me have a look at what businesses you are doing. Why are you so sick? Why the state's so-called Navratna has gone into this state? Sir, we have 23 SBUs. Now, I only know SBU from the books because I have never served in any company. So straight from uniform to civil walk of life. So right under my office, there was a one SBU called Internet Cafe. So I scratched my head. I said, what is this SBU? So it is created for people come. I said, but Internet Cafe was necessary maybe 10 years back. Today people have laptops. Mobiles were not that frequent, but they were there. So why do you need it? No, it's there. Thank you. Then I asked them, how many people run this? This is my third or fourth day. Sir, 3 people run this, 3 shifts. What's your salary? Very low salary, 8,000, maybe 8,500. So I said almost 8 into 3, 24,000. Electricity bill, about 10,000. Internet, etc., another 10, 12,000. So I said, now you add all these 3. Students, listen to me very carefully. If you understand this, there is no stopping for you in life. So I say you spend almost 23 plus 10 plus 10, around 45 or so. Can you show me your sales register? I realized on a weekdays, 500 to 600 rupees, and on a Sunday, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400. I said, now you match. I realized what they earn from that SBU is much lesser than what is being spent. And mind you, there is no rent, because it is all government property. My own office was in a palace, the so-called, given by the Travancore family, Velayambalam complex, Princess Gauri used to come and meet me sometime. And my office was almost as big as this entire stage. So I said, if you do not earn more than what you spend, how do you justify? Close it. It's messages for the students. Close it. Within 5 minutes, I get a call from Secretariat. I do not want to elaborate what it means. Why are you closing it? We have a message. I swear in the name of God. You know what is the answer I gave? Sir, please send me salaries for all the employees. I shall not touch anything. And if you do not, I have come with 1 suitcase, 1 airbag, and every day evening there is a flight back. You decide. Trust me, I swear, this is the answer I gave. I do not know how these words came. I do not know. But this is what emerged. So later when I looked, what is it I learned? In your life, if you are very sure, if your conscience tells you what is right or what is wrong, do not get scared. Stick to your own conscience and say what you feel like. And take the decision what comes internally. This was a lesson I learned, which probably I could not have found in any books, but it came. And I was allowed, okay, you do what you want. I say, you give salary. I say, I go back, no problem. Honestly, I do not know from where it came. You all can look into my eyes. But it came. And they had no choice. I mean, I shouldn't say that. They can always say, we'll get somebody else, no problem. But at that particular moment, continue. Now, I knew journey is clearer for me. I shall not do anything wrong, but I shall do what is correct. The first thing I said, I'm going to do analysis based on what I've done here, the so-called 23 SBUs, and decide what is to be done. And on a very fast track, we, not I, we all agreed we should do only 10 SBUs. That's all. And in each SBU, we will have a target of 100 crores in 5 to 10 years. So when you take senior positions in the times to come, you must always be very focused and have a clear vision. As if you do that 10 SBUs into 100, maybe 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, I don't know. But I sold that concept. The entire team accepted it. Mathematically it looked nice, but somebody had to do it. I shall briefly touch maybe one or two use cases, case studies. Keltron, traditionally, senior people would know, has got into the traffic light business. All this bamboos and 3 lights. So I said, you earn hundreds or thousands. ITMS was the new buzzword at that time. Intelligent Traffic Management System. Why don't you do? But where are the technology? I'm talking of way back. Now, of course, it's come in many cities. I'm 15 years back. But where are the technologies? We went to CDAC, got the software, since I had been abroad many times and I knew what is what. Not that I was a master, but at least I know where to pick up the dots, how to connect them. We went to China, got lane detection system, red light violation detection system, etc., etc. We mustered all. And I'm proud to share that the organization was able to do first major ITMS worth almost 28 crores for Kolkata police way back in 2008. It's on the record. Destiny blessed them. Neither I did anything. So, like this, got in Pune another 17 crores. So that I could see it is building towards the imaginary figure of 100. I said, let's look at defense. Since I'm from defense, let's go to all the CDACs, all the DRDOs, to start with NPOL, being in the state, and get involved in their development work. Position engineers, get them here, and they will become your products. The first underwater communication indigenously developed system by NPOL became a Keltron product. So a new vision, a new direction came. With the help of NSTL Visakhapatnam, we were with more modification, organization got an order of 40 crores worth mines order. So that vertical also came. Like this, we started building. By the time I left after 3 years, again, I don't know why I left. Maybe destiny wanted me to do something more. We had already reached 300 times growth from so-called 100 crores, which was purely trading, government orders, to 300 crores. I understand now also they're at 400. This should have continued. By now, they should have been 1,000. But then, that's destiny. I've been given a time limit, so I'll say bullet points. But you will understand what these bullet points are. Where are we heading for? We are heading in the right direction. We are all talking of $5 trillion economy. Time permitting, I would have said, at each state, even UP can become 1 trillion, Karnataka can become, Maharashtra can become, Tamil Nadu can become, smaller states have. Why 5? By 2030, you should be dreaming of 10 trillion. That's on the economic part. A must. On the second part, nation is safe till its borders are safe. You need to stand on your own feet. As a young lieutenant, when I was doing MTech in defense electronics, I worked in a jetty in Riga. Now it is no more Soviet Union. Latvia is a different country. Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia were the first 3 republics to break away. Now, when on one jetty I walked, I saw 4 submarines this side, 4 submarines this side. So I was wondering, like a small young lieutenant, my God, our whole country has got 8. There in one port, one jetty, they have 8. Just imagine when will it become like that. I am proud to say, post INS Arihant, where I was, we also have INS Nirghat, and this process is not going to go back. India, it's building its own nuclear submarines, one by one, one by one, one by one. We are quite independent in a phased manner more and more in weapons. Integrated guided missile system is known to all of you. You can ask me a separate question. BrahMos first export order of 2003 crores. It's a jointly developed missile for all versions, ships also, land also. We got the first order, tip of the iceberg, Philippines. If economy is in its place, if defense is in its place, you have your place in geopolitical. I will give you one question which never emerged in any of this thing. We talked of the global order, this order, that order. Fine. I will give one question to the students to do their research. write your MBA thesis. Can India create a new world order? Why do we say US will decide, China will decide? Can India create a new world order? But for that, you must be strong. Under Atmanirbhar, under self-reliance, we are moving in the right direction. Last point, since the time is a big, very important one bullet point. If you see what is Lockheed Martin, go to the Google, check what they do, and check their turnover. I think the latest is about 70 billion US. I may be wrong by 1 or 2 here and there. Can HAL, along with BEL, as a conglomerate, become another Lockheed Martin? That should be the strategic role PSUs should be playing, since my first experience was to revive a sick PSU. Then I always wondered, is the only aim to survive? Is salary the only aim? Or these PSUs can be groomed as strategic role player for the nation building? And we are going in the right direction. In any submarine, you have a pressure hull inside, an outer hull. Most of the special alloy steels, most of the titanium alloys are used because they are all surrounded by seawater, anti-corrosive. Very expensive. Countries would have taken enormous foreign exchange. PSUs or PSEs, whatever you want to call it, like Midhani, are today trying to develop special steels, special alloys. So we are in the right direction in terms of economy, in terms of defense, in terms of PSUs. Like I said, build 10 PSUs in Keltron and have a dream. Can we have 10 PSCs with global competence? Like HAL is today Mark I Tejas, going to the Mark II very soon, 4.5 generation. The process should not stop. Keep moving, and have 10 of them. SAIL, NTPC, Bharat Heavy Electricals. This should be the vision of public sector undertaking. And mind you, gone are the days when they were only perceived to be job providers. Government job hai, salary milega, life acha. No. There is proper accountability, there is proper pressure. That's the new trend which is coming up. And I'm glad we are moving in the right direction. That is how the PSUs should be groomed and looked, and we are in the right direction. I pray and wish this nation in a decade or so should be more and more strong so that we can decide which will be the world order. In my personal opinion, it will be a triangle and 3 vertices will be US, China, and India. Thank you.
Thank you, dear sir, for that optimistic note of conclusion. Thus we come to the close of this session. Let me request Mr. Prateek Kumar, AM's convener of Annual Management Convention, to present the speaker with a token of appreciation. Thank you, Captain Dua, Engineer Jairam, and Shri Prateek Kumar.
Thank you, sir. We are coming to the close of the technical session. Without any break and no delays, we are moving on to the valedictory function because our chief guest is already here, and it's our privilege to give maximum time for him to address us. He had given after